All right, the mic is open once again. I'm Alan Hoshida. Welcome into another episode, and thank you for joining me once again as we get deeper into this new podcast venture. The theme song I've talked about, awesome, sets up the podcast every week. So I wanted to bring on the creator of the thing, Mr. Adam Spry Music, and we are going to talk about how it came together. We connected because our kids go to the same preschool, that is Playmates, here in the Sunset in San Francisco. So if you're looking for a preschool for your young one, hang on here. We might tell you where to go. We're going to talk about all that. But we start things off with his journey as an independent musician in San Francisco, and we are going to open up the mic. The mic is open once again, and as we just talked about, this is my man, Adam Spry. Help me with the theme song. So anytime you hear this, always think of Mr. Adam Spry, who did a great job and really appreciate it. But Adam, as we start this podcast every week, the first thing we do is we open up the mic because we all have things in life that we need to get off our chest. I know you are a new father of two, so there's lots of things that could be on this list, on this table. First and foremost, though, my friend, the mic is open. What do you got?
People who are driving and you are approaching a have you seen these people who are waving people through? You're coming up, you don't have a stop sign, you're at a stop sign, and it's a two-way, it's not an all-way stop, and you get the wave,
Yeah,
and then the
bad,
traffic's coming from the other side.
bad.
I
It's
feel
bad,
like
especially here in the Sunset and where we are. It's like every other street is either four-way or a two-way stop, and you're just trying to abide by the law, and they're like, "No, no, go, go." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna get killed here.
I'm
This is
just trying to
terrible."
survive.
Yes, this is, every place. So you know that I've lived a lot of different places. Every
Yeah.
place has their own little thing about like what makes driving very odd in that situation or in that place. Here in the Sunset, in where we are, it's the
Yeah.
four-way, two-way stops because it's every other street, and there's just everyone stops, and you're like, just keep going, keep going. I'm here.
Ju-
I'm with you. I'm
Just
with you.
get through and I got all day. Let me go. Just let me wait.
Yeah. Like it's not going to hurt anything. I'll just wait 2 more seconds, and actually, it makes it way more confusing when you don't. That was a great one. That was one of
It
the first ones
drives me
here.
crazy.
We're only 4 episodes in, so we're not deep into this. But that was a great one to start out with because driving ones are always everyone can have a little more driving etiquette, especially as we like. I kind of think about how much better of a driver I might have been when I was like 17 or 18 because I was like so focused and got to do it. Do it. Now I'm like just weaving through. I got my kids yelling at me. Like, oh, so driving tips. That could be a good topic here to
Probably
start
not
things
as
out.
much 10 and 2 as when you were first getting your license.
No, definitely not. Let's start things out with the theme song. I love it. I've told you you did a great job with it. I think it's super catchy. I think when
Yeah.
we start out this podcast, I think it starts on the right foot. So just tell me a little bit of how that came to be for you and your process in kind of creating that. I know it's not super long, so it's not like you probably, were hammering it out for days,
Yeah.
but what was that like for you?
Um, Thanks again for asking me to do it. It's a really fun little project. Basically, you sent over some examples, and I was trying to get the vibe. And I listened to quite a bit of like sports podcast stuff too, so I like did a little bit of my own research. And you just want something upbeat and something that like really comes in hot. And I just have like a little keyboard. I can just like it's like 25 keys. And I just started like messing around with little melodies of like setting the tone and trying to and getting the drum beats, and it came together fast. I think it was like a couple hours of just locking myself down in here in my little home studio when I can get away from being a dad responsibilities with a newborn. And
Yeah.
I
No, it
don't
was
think I had
great.
my I don't think I had the baby yet, but
Yeah, no, and
second
I
baby.
like the
But
horns. I mean, the horns was something that we both talked about, and I was like, oh,
yeah, the
I've got to get the
horns.
horns in there.
Tried to make it sound as real as possible with that because I don't actually play horns, but I
Yeah,
think it came out good. Yeah, it was fun. It's a different experience than like being like a songwriter where I'm like trying to do verses into choruses and
yeah.
bridge section in the middle, so it's a fun like writing exercise for me too, and
Oh, good.
not singing. So
I'm glad that helped you out, or at least get the creative juices going. And I also liked, so our kids go to the same preschool,
yep.
playmates here in the Sunset. We'll shout them out probably quite a bit over here. And I like the fact that the one thing we learn with our parents, it's a co-op, so we're around a lot. But I wanted to try and I like that I was able to help you out and keep it in the ecosystem and kind of give back to our community and also keep it local because we all can use a little extra hand here. And I think the more we rely on each other, it just strengthens our community too.
Definitely. It's much better than like trying to have AI do it for you or and put us musicians out of work. So yeah, supporting local is always the way to go, and it just enriches your like personal community with like friends and
Yeah.
whatever that is, parents like at preschool, that community is really great and
Yeah.
so I love it.
And we're going to dive into that because the other part of this, the mic is open podcast here is we always talk about dad advice. And so we're going to get to the preschool side of things. That's how we met. And we've been around each other a lot because of this last year. And it's the first year for both of us and we learned a lot. So we'll dive into that. Again, this is Adam Spry Music. If you're looking around for him, we're talking about the theme song. And now we're going to talk about, just his own journey in music as an independent artist in San Francisco in the Bay Area. And kind of what is that like now for you? Kind of as you've transitioned here as a dad and over the
Mhm.
last several years, just how has it kind of shifted?
Over the last several years, it's shifted a ton. I kind of had to like imagine what being a musician, like an artist, someone who like plays shows and like tours means having kids. In my 20s, like I would get a phone call from a bud saying, "We're heading to Texas in a couple weeks. You want to go?" And yeah, like I'll just call out sick of work and I'll be there. We'll go to South by Southwest and so now it's like everything is very planned
Hmm.
many months in advance, which is good. And everyone's like I have band members that I got to coordinate schedules with and coordinating different venues, like general managers and booking agents and promoting all these things. So there's a lot of moving parts. So it just takes an incredible amount of planning, and also it's not possible without my wife being on board with everything,
Hmm.
which is like I'm like our primary caretaker when she's not working. So it's
Yeah.
like not only am I going to be gone like as a dad, but also like as the child care is
Yeah.
gone. So it's a lot of moving parts. But since my daughter Addie was born almost 3 years ago, before she was born, I kind of thought I would like, oh, I better just sell all the guitars and never gonna, all I'm just gonna change diapers for the rest of my life. And just like very short-sighted. And I just got so inspired to like start creating and trying to like make her proud of me in the
Yeah.
future. And I've been busier than ever with music, and it's been really fun. So things are totally different now, but I just have I think a really appreciative, try to stay like my a positive attitude about everything and just be grateful for what I have. And it's
Well,
been
it's
fun.
funny with children, when they come, you think like, oh, things are going to change, and things definitely do change. It's not that
Yeah,
they don't change. And you sometimes think that professionally, even for me, like it's going to take a back seat, and it has, but also it has the chance to inspire you. And what
yeah,
you're saying about wanting her to be proud of you is something that I uh, think about every day. In my job, I want to make sure that she's proud of me. And the nice thing, and with yourself too, it's kind of cool that she can watch you, right? She can watch your videos or listen to your songs. And for Cameron and Brooke, eventually, they'll she watches. And so knowing that my kids are watching, not every night because some games are late
yeah,
and they're not
yeah.
staying up. Sorry, Sharks, they're not staying up to 7:30 to watch the game, to watch Dad or anything like that. But
Yeah.
uh, it has a chance to inspire you and maybe touch a different level that you weren't really ready for. So I think that's also one thing is when you do have kids, yes, everything changes and you got to adapt and they're your focus, but it also has a chance to inspire your creative outlets or you professionally, whatever that may be. For us, we're lucky that our creative outlets are also us professionally, where it can kind of give us a boost, right? So
Yeah.
I'm sure you've sensed that too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's a pretty special thing when you get in the car and kids like often like to listen to like, Disney soundtrack or
Yeah.
something, but sometimes the choices I'll ask her, "What do you want to listen to?" And she says, "I want to play daddy songs." And it's like I feel kind of funny listening to my own music, but she's like she'll know the words and she's like it'll end, song will end, and she's like, play another daddy song. And
Yeah.
it's just really cool. She's been to like 4 or 5 of my shows already, like hanging out in the theater or in the venue, and come off stage and get to hug her, and she's so happy, and then rush her off home to bed. It's like a little later than
Yeah.
she should be up, but it's a special moment. And
Well, and
yeah.
I'm sure they're not gonna forget these things, and you hopefully you create some memories, some core memories for them, whatever that may be when they move forward. Like they see their dad that has the the dedication, the hard work to do this and do be a musician, and then see their mom who does what she does and excels at that and also holds everything else together in that sense. And so that's the same thing with us, is that you just want to show them different avenues and that there isn't just one way to do life. And so that's another cool
Yeah.
thing that you get to see. So when it comes to the places you have done performances at, you've had
hmm
shows, you said South by Southwest, different places. Are there any other places that kind of stand out for you about bucket lists, or even like you have a running list where it's like, oh, those really cool venues or spots that I had the opportunity to show my talents?
Yeah. I mean, just like Bay Area specifically, I've been playing shows in San Francisco. The first time I played in San Francisco, I'm from Sonoma County.
Hmm.
I played Beta Breakers when I was like 16, like
Hmm.
in the like where the overpass at ML, where, what's the road? Where the waterfall is in the park, JFK and
Okay.
20, so I can't remember like by crossover. So I've been playing shows in the Bay for like almost 20 years now. And, I've played at like, played the Chapel, which is like cool venue. The dream venue is like playing at the Fillmore one day, just because like I've had a lot of life-changing moments at the Fillmore watching bands. But played most all of the venues. And then just besides that, like touring. Last year I was lucky to go. I did some bunch of shows in the UK, which is really cool.
Oh,
Like first
sweet.
international stuff. I went down and played a festival in Mexico. Was able to like bring my band down to Sayulita and play music on the beach, and toured up and down the West Coast a bunch of times, port up to Washington and back, Idaho. So still feel like I'm kind of green a little bit as far as touring goes, but trying to do more and more as I can that's sustainable. And but yeah, San Francisco has a cool music scene. It's changed a lot since like I started playing here all the time, like 8 or 10 years ago. A lot of venues are gone, which is kind of
Yeah.
sad. Like we used to play Slim's quite a bit. Slim's is not a thing anymore. Stuff like that. So it's
I've
an
seen a few
evolving
shows
scene.
at Slim's before. I love music. I haven't gone to a lot of live performances. My wife Martina, who you know well, she loves music and was a big music person, going to bands and shows all the time. She had a podcast at one point, was uh first teenager to have a podcast featured in Teen Vogue, I believe. And so
Whoa.
she yeah, she doesn't talk about it because it's like a whole nother life of hers. But
I've never
yeah,
heard that.
she love you will talk to her about it. She
Okay.
just be like, oh hey, Alan told me, and then she'll
Yeah.
probably not want to talk about it. But yeah,
Yeah.
she was in that world a lot more, and her dad is the reason why he's still doing shows and stuff, and he used to take her to all these shows. So I hear of all these places. I just didn't get to go to them that many. I went to like a few, but I've been
Mhm.
to Slim's. I had a friend that played at Slim's before. So what do you feel is different about here in San Francisco or the Bay Area about the music scene?
It feels like there's like a lot of the smaller venues are the ones that go first.
Yeah.
So that's like the places where all the locals, like a lot of smaller local acts can kind of cut their teeth on like playing live. It's harder to break into like the bigger venues, and without the smaller venues that like help you grow your fan base
Hmm.
and then get to propel you to these other places, it's kind of hard to start, like take off. You can do it, people do it, but some of these places were so like nurturing to smaller artists, places like Amnesia and the Mission that we used to play all the time. And uh yeah, Slim's is gone. This is a little bit of a medium-sized venue, but and even ones that are around now, it's just like it's hard. Margins are thin on live shows. So
Yeah. Yeah, because the
yeah.
the the booking agents and stuff, they want to know, they ask you how many people you think you can bring, right? Is that a question that they ask?
Yep, draw is a big part of it. Expected draw.
Yeah.
Es- Especially because I feel like a lot of venues are making money from alcohol sales, and so
Yeah,
like
I would
tickets are
assume
one
so.
thing, but yeah. So I used to have, yeah. I won't get. I was about to get into something, but I had a lot of rowdy party friends back in the day, so it would make like ten people who showed up pay for like 30.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, I only have there maybe only a handful of people are coming, but I promise you they're gonna pay like 100. So if you just bring
Right.
me, I can secure at least a fake 100 people. I think that's
Yeah.
great. I mean, sometimes you just need to rely on your friends that'll do the heavy lifting for you, and sometimes they will. Right? You're like, hey, I really need you to make sure that you help me out, and some of it will come
That's where it
along
all
and help you out.
starts. Friends,
Yeah,
community, like to spread word of mouth and
yeah,
until you start like building and actually like fans, like people you don't know that come to your shows. It's like
yeah,
started to happen now, which is really um weird. And like people from social media that I don't see in r real life that come to shows and um yeah, you just got to stick. It's a grind. We're not in it for the money, is what I hear a lot
yeah.
of people say.
Well, let's go with. I was going to talk to you about social media at some point, but I'm glad you kind of brought it up because you have quite a views on X amount of videos. They're like a couple 100,000 and some pinned, and like, you're really trying to do that side of things. Has that social media can have double edge, right? Like it could be good and bad.
Hmm.
What is it for you, and have you seen it kind of pay off for better or worse?
Yeah. For a long time I was very cynical, like social media sucks. I just want to be an artist and I just want to write my songs and play my songs. And I think there's like a false I hear a lot of my musician friends say things like that. Like, I just want to play my songs and write my songs and sing my songs. And no one's stopping you from doing that. Like, but I think they're being a little naive. Like, they want people to go to their shows
Yeah,
and be there and listen. If you just wanted to play and sing, and you could go do that anytime you want. Like,
yeah,
no one needs, but if you want people to show up and like care about what you're doing, then you have to tell people about yourself. And the easiest slash cheapest free way to do it is social media. So I've really kind of like tried to embrace social media as a, you know, basically a form of advertisement and trying to have fun with it without like letting it rot away my mental health too much.
right.
So I've kind of found a good rhythm of like I post 2 to 3 times a day on all the different apps and found something that feels like my voice and consistency is king with social media and it's starting
Yeah,
to pay off. I got booked on like my first festival through TikTok. I've had a bunch of artists on tours where they reach out to me through social media. They found me from some video or
yeah.
I find them and
What's that like when you have a total stranger that you've never met that kind of come through and rep they see some talent in you, or they see something that they want to bring on tour, or they want to book you? What is that like for you?
it's a special thing. Like you used to almost forget about social people on social media as people, I feel
Hmm.
like oh I just make number get bigger like and I try not to think about it like that like just no matter how many people are watching I just want to like make something engaging and so it's cool when that like one person in real life coming to show is worth so much like not just like benefiting the show or benefiting, but like just mentally, like someone came from behind a screen out into real life to see what you're doing is just really wild, especially in today's like society where I have like lifelong friends that I haven't seen in like 10 years,
Yeah.
like really good friends, just because what are you going to do? People are busy. So
Yeah.
people take time out of their lives to like go to a show or buy your record or whatever. That getting booked on that festival in Mexico, it was called Sand and Strings Fest. I thought for sure like I was getting scammed. Like this guy reaches out to me, Guy Charlie. It's like, yeah, I've been following your TikToks. Love your music. I would love to have you down. We're starting a new festival in Sayulita, Mexico. It's like, okay, well, I can't afford to go to Mexico. He's like, no, we'll pay for the
Wow.
flights for you and your band and put you up in a hotel. And I was like, I hope I'm not getting like sold away to some kind of something in Mexico. And eventually, one is shows started, festival started getting closer. It's like coming up in April. It's like February, and email me the plane tickets for. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to Mexico. I hope there's a festival.
It's like not one of those, was it Fire Island? Was it something like that where it's like,
No, it ended up being really great.
oh,
Yeah,
good. Yeah.
Fire Ireland though is the yeah.
Yeah. No,
Um,
it's great to
so
hear, and I love that because I think as a society and a climate of this is like social media is terrible, and there's a lot of things that social media can be terrible about, but there is
yeah,
another side of it where it helps you connect with people. I think you forget that it does help you connect with people around the world, even your close friends, like you're talking about. Like my friends follow me and they see my work and too, and so it's
yeah,
special like that. And if you use it where you can you better yourself. It's a free avenue for advertisement, for marketing too. And also, if you somehow hack the algorithm, you
yeah,
never know. Something magic can happen. So it's great to see that that's working for you, or it has worked for you. And I think it is a good route for independent artists to kind of go that route to kind of showcase themselves. And even for me, I try and showcase myself and put some stuff out there. And the consistency thing is hard for me. Is
yeah,
I want to do it, but just like cutting the video, editing the video daily, it's a grind. And so
yeah,
I kind of went on a hiatus after the season. Now I'm trying to get back in it with these podcasts, but even still,
yeah.
like doing it routinely is the hardest part.
I do like batch edits, so I'll do like 10 videos at once where I like
Oh,
have
okay.
the time to do it, and then just like
Yeah.
once a day post them throughout the week, and like, okay, I'm running out of videos, so
Yeah. We gotta
just
get on it.
yeah.
So you're still doing this. What is it still that drives you, that you're still excited about? Is it the writing process? Is it getting up there on the stage? Or is there a side of it that you don't like? Like, are you are you still grinding through this and wanting to do this and pursuing this because it's still fueling you, right? And maybe it goes back to Addy, what we talked about, but what is it still that you find most rewarding in the process?
Yeah, definitely like the writing process. I just never stop writing all the time. I have way more songs than I can afford to record or finish
Yeah.
even. A lot of that's just for me. I just want to write stuff that I like, and I love writing. I love recording, and I love the camaraderie of playing music with my friends. Being on stage is another kind of thrill. It's like my heart is pumping after a live show, a good show, playing a good show, and um, there's quite nothing like it for me. I kind of feel like I have to do it to like be true to myself, and
Yeah.
if people are digging it, that's cool, but I'm still gonna keep doing it for as long as my hands let me keep playing guitar and I
Yeah.
still have my voice. So
It's funny
uh
when you talk about good shows because it's same thing with me. It's like it's good shows, you feel great, and then you have a show that either isn't resonating with your audience for you or something like that, or it's a dead crowd or whatever it may be, or maybe you just have a little blunder or what that you're thinking. But for me, if it's a bad show where things didn't go right, you're like, man, I don't know if I really want to keep doing that. But when you have the good show, you're like, oh yeah, I love it. It's kind of for me, it's a lot like golf. Golf, you have a lot
mm,
of bad shots.
yeah.
And you hit that one good one. You're like, yep, coming back tomorrow. I wish I
Yeah.
could come back tomorrow, but it's got to feel something similar to that, right? Where the good shows have to stand out. The good shows have to be your beacon because if you let the bad shows pile up or the ones that resonate you the most, that's when it gets hard to keep going.
Yeah, it can get to you for sure. I'm also just like I've done a lot of shows with like no one there, or like 10 people, and if I can whoever's in the room, I'm gonna do my damnedest to
Yeah.
make sure that they're having a good time. And I've been performing for a long time since I was like a kid, like singing, and I used to do like singing and acting and stuff when I was a little kid. And so learning how to mess up too is another thing. Like
Hmm.
you have a bad shot or whatever, hit it in the trap, not letting it
Yeah.
like turn into like a, you know, a bunch of mistakes in a row. Just like you play right through it, don't let anyone see, because you're gonna mess up, especially and just that's how it goes being human. You're gonna mess up, but I've been
Yeah.
doing it a long time and learn kind of like learning how to mess up in a good in like a healthy way. But yeah, the good shows are really cool. But honestly, just when I can even just like rehearsals with my band, like it's so much fun. Like we just
Yeah.
have just like laughing our tails off and playing really loud. So I'm just grateful for being able to play because there's been times where I didn't have like the time or the people around me that like the band falls apart or something. So
What type of music do you specialize in? I saw some of the comments on social media that got a little Beatles vibe. I saw you play a little
yeah,
Neil Young the other day. What do you how would you characteristic? I mean, other people are gonna say what they want, but how will you say?
yeah, I definitely am a huge like Beatles nerd. So that's they've been like my favorite for a long time. Like Wilco fans will like it. Like a little more niche artists like Dr. Dog or the Shins or Father John Misty or but I like all kinds of music and but that's kind of the main vibe, I think.
Okay, so we're gonna get into dad stuff next, but I do blind. I like to do a game with my guests just to keep it
Uh-huh.
fun, and we've been doing some blind rankings. We did blind ranking Star Wars. We did Hawaii's
Oh,
best
nice.
sports moments. Blind ranking Star Wars was Disney Plus series,
Okay.
so it was a little different. I didn't want to go movies. Everyone does movies.
Uh-huh.
Lame. So this is, which also I know you're a Star Wars guy. We could have gone that route too, but it's good. We just had a Star Wars guy, so I mean, who? It's kind of hard
I'm a
not to
little
find.
behind on the series, so maybe I
Okay,
wouldn't have been
good,
good on
good.
that.
So here we go. We're gonna do blind ranking local San Francisco music venues. Just San Francisco. Obviously,
Okay.
there's the Fox Theater, the Greek, which are great venues
Great
in the Bay
venues.
Area,
Yeah.
but we're talking about San Francisco alone. So I need to pull up my list, and we might have already said a few of them here
Maybe, yeah.
throughout this thing. But so I'm going to give you five,
Okay.
and you're going to tell me where they rank, and I'm going to put it together, and we'll have some fun. So
And
the
once I
first one
lock it
for
in,
you.
I can't move it, right? That's how it works, right?
Yeah, it's like locked in. What was
Okay.
that? What's that game where you lock it in and then was that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You lock that
Oh,
in?
final answer.
Is
Yeah.
it final answer? Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
Okay.
Lock it in. Okay, so you
Okay.
lock it in. It
Okay.
cannot move.
Okay.
The first one is Slims.
Slims. Yeah. I'll put Slims at 3.
Okay, solid
Yeah.
right there in the middle.
I
Good
really loved
starting.
that Slims would always feed us really well, big, huge home cooked meals, family style meals with the staff before every show. So Slims was awesome. I miss Slims.
All right, Slims. Oh yeah, and this is
Yeah.
Dead or Alive. I should also say that these are venues like we talked about. Slims is no longer with us, as they say. So this
Yeah.
is Bay Area venues that were once or still going.
Yeah.
Next one is Warfield.
Uh, I've never been to the Warfield.
Okay.
I don't know if I can. I might have to just put the Warfield at 5 because I don't. I just have no information.
All right.
I
Well,
know that
maybe
they
we
have
should
cool
add another
shows
one.
though. I would love to play the Warfield. It'll go straight to number 1, maybe. Never play the Warfield.
Okay, well, there's that one, and didn't see a show there. So this is limited knowledge. It's going at five. The third one there is Great American Music Hall.
Great American is amazing. I love Great American. I love how cool it is, but also how small it is too. Like it feels gigantic, but it's also not that big. I'll put them at 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
two. Next one is Bill Graham.
Bill Graham, I've been to like maybe my favorite show like I've ever seen at Bill Graham, LCD Sound System, not like 5 or 6 years ago. But Bill Graham's tough. Bill Graham's at 4. It's too
Okay,
big. It doesn't sound that good.
all right. Well, I think you're, and then we all know what the last one is, right? It's got to be Fillmore.
Yeah, Fillmore is number one. Fillmore is just like it just sounds so freaking good in that room, and such a legendary shows they've had there. I've been able to like have some homie bands that have played there. I've never played there myself, but had a bunch of friends bands who've played there and been able to like, you know, go around the backstage and just like thinking about I'm gonna play here one day. So still on the bucket list for sure. Fillmore's amazing. And they give you like you get an apple when you leave.
Like a real
An
apple?
apple, yeah.
Okay.
They would I don't know if they do that anymore, but I would like get an apple and go home and love the Fillmore. Fillmore's incredible.
Okay.
Usually
Well, you
fall
said
out of the Fillmore, usually fall out of the Fillmore into the Boom Boom Room across the street.
honorable mention venues that maybe should have been on the list in your top five that you might have put in your top five that I didn't mention.
Lately I've been loving playing at the Four Star Theater, which is like the movie theater in the Richmond. They're doing really cool shows there. Every time I go, so they have like the projections on the movie screen behind the bands and they play. I just lucky enough to play there back in March. Love the Four Star. I have a lot of two of my bandmates work at the Chapel, and I love the Chapel.
Okay.
So I feel like Chapel's pretty hip scene. In the Independent is another one I think is I love going to shows at Independent.
So we did the blind rankings. I think pretty much we're good with how it all shook out,
I'm
right?
really
And
sorry, Warfield. Don't be mad at.
no, it's
Hoping no one's
fine.
mad.
It's fine.
I
It's
gotta go to the
good.
Warfield.
That's fine. Hey, we know the name though. Like it's a name, right? Like
Yeah,
people know of it or have gone
yeah,
seen shows there. So it's not crazy, right? It should have been on there, but I like your
yeah.
honorable mentions. And so you shout out plenty of people that should bring you on, bring you back, and get some more shows. And we started this whole thing with The Mic is Open with Adam Spry. We talked about how we met, and that was through Playmates Preschool, a co op here in the Sunset, San Francisco. And so, yeah, we're going to talk about some dad life now because that
Yeah,
is another part of this podcast. And it's been an important part of this podcast. I've enjoyed that conversation a lot with the guests so far. Preschool. Let's first start with shopping preschools. And I will begin. If I had today a Mic is Open process, I'd be like, preschool is too expensive, wherever it is. Ours is okay, because it's co-op,
yeah.
you're way more involved. But like full preschools, no thank you. 2 grand a month here in the city. And that's like, I don't know, I'm not great at math. $24,000 to send your kid to preschool a year. Heck no.
It's
So
crazy
that's why
for one kid.
for one kid, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So that's why we turned to the co-op situation, and we are lucky enough to be able to do that. Where there's one parent who helps out a lot once a week, and we're
yeah.
all kind of involved and have to go to board meetings and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
you're on the board, and now my
Yeah,
wife is going to be on the board.
yeah.
But man, preschool, it shouldn't be that expensive. Am I wrong in
Yeah.
saying that?
Yeah, it's tough. These are the people that are kind of raising your kids when you're not, right? So it's I don't know.
$24,000 a year. That
Oh,
is
that much.
way.
Yeah, I couldn't even Sarah and I, my wife Sarah, we didn't even look at any place like that because
No,
that's
no,
just
I
not
think I'm not going to shout. I don't want playmates to come for us. I think,
Yeah.
what we have is affordable and what we do is
Yeah.
it works out for most families if you can do
I
the
see what
time
you're saying.
commitment.
Okay.
But if you don't have, because not every family has that opportunity
Yeah.
to have a parent help out as much as a co-op. So then you
Yeah.
have to spend $20,000 a year for your child. And that is
Yeah.
for one. I'm sorry, San Francisco, but that is too expensive for preschool if you
Yeah.
have to send your kid there for full time.
Yeah, it's crazy. We didn't even think about doing that because it's just too crazy. So
we we did about 4 tours, and by the fourth one I was like, yeah, we're not doing
the
this.
system is like set up where you pretty much have to have one parent not working all the time anyway, because you got to like, even if you're in a preschool like that, you still got to pick them up and drop them
Yeah.
off. And
Well, and then some of the preschools, one of them we like that you dropped them off at 8 and then you picked them up at 5 p.m. And I was like,
yeah,
and I
that's
get that's like, working, but that's way too long for a 2 or 3 year old to be at
it's a long
school.
time. Yeah.
At school. That is way too long. Like
Eh,
I don't Cameron would not be cool with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I get it. But that's how we got to Playmates. So that was the whole
Yeah.
thing is we went on these tours and we decided that it was just not going to work out for our family's plan. So we got to
Yeah.
co-op. What was the biggest surprise for you this preschool year? We obviously don't want to like dig in on our school's great. We love our school.
Yeah.
So just
Hmm.
aside from like the school type, but just like what caught you by surprise or something that you were really liked so far about preschool?
Well, something I really like is like I'm as a musician, I don't have a lot of friends with kids
Hmm.
or even people who are like in relationships or like a lot of like I'm friends with like a lot of like nah, my friends are great, but I got a lot of friends who like or are nowhere close to getting married or and will never have kids, which is great. And I, I don't know, but so having this community at the preschool has just been really, really cool. Of like resources, like just how do you guys deal with these things come up? Because it's like speaking a foreign language when I'm talking about like my kids,
Yeah.
like you know, oh, bowel movements or eating
Yeah.
habits or
Yeah, they know what they're talking about. You have some teachers who you can lean on to do it.
yeah,
The thing I've just loved the most is that Cameron loves it. And so she
yeah,
like loves going to school. And to me, that's the biggest thing is it makes me feel like we made the right decision because there is also other co-ops in the
yeah,
Sunset or in the area. We're not going to name names because we're not
hmm,
going to come for them and I don't want their faithful to come for me
yeah.
because there's some strong feelings and opinions about co-ops here in the Sunset.
Okay,
But
yeah,
I will say, uh, I feel like we did a really good job in picking this place, and it was reinforced because just Cameron like wakes up every day and is like, I want to go to school, and
yeah,
so that's the coolest thing is just kind of seeing, first year, second year, yeah, they're around a lot, they like things, but then they start kind of creating who they are here
hmm.
when they start going to school. That have you seen that too?
For sure. I mean, when my daughter started, school started on August like 18th, and she turned 2 on August 3rd. So we were kind of felt like, oh, we're like leaving this like baby, and like and her speech, like her vocabulary and speech weren't like where they like as far along as like she is now. She's
Yeah,
not, and her like speech just exploded, and she learned all these new things, and she like learned how to ride a scooter, and she's
yeah.
drawing and playing with other kids, and it's just been really, really cool. It's a special place for her. She loves it.
They get
And
so much more brave too. Cameron became way
yeah,
more brave. Like she was always a cautious kid, uh,
yeah.
and now she does a little bit. Cameron's still pretty cautious, as you know, and
Hmm.
she's still pretty responsible, like how she uses her body. But like she'll climb more and she'll jump off things, and so just what they get from other kids
Yeah.
is super rewarding, and that goes back to the whole thing like preschool. That's what preschool's about. Like it shouldn't be about curriculum that you're learning when you're 3 year olds, just like basically social skills that
Yeah.
you're getting acclimated to other kids, and having that skill set, especially when things don't go right, like when you have a problem with another kid or they
Hmm.
they want the same shovel.
Yeah. Oh
Can't have the
yeah.
same
Oh
shovel.
yeah. Waiting
They
in line
can't.
for the swings.
Yeah, waiting in line for the swings. I want the blue shovel. Well, I have a yellow shovel that's the same
No
one. It's
good.
just
No
different color.
good.
No, no good. Do not want that one. So yeah, preschool's been it's been a crazy place. The thing is also, I don't, and I think we're all in the same boat. Is everyone's like, oh, when they go to preschool, you're going to be sick forever. And I was like, oh yeah, how bad can it be? Like, it can't be. I got a good immune system. I've been on this earth for 36 years. I built it up.
Yeah.
I've been sick, I feel like, for 12 months.
For me,
Literally
it's
every day.
yeah, it's a lot. And for me, it's been like, okay, I have a show next week. I really hope I can sing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here it comes. I feel it coming. Like, I hope I can time this cold out where my voice is still there. Like, I'll get real sick on Sunday, so Friday should be fine.
Well, good.
Like, it's
I
it's a
just don't
crapshoot.
understand how there are so many different sicknesses that these kids get and they come home with. Like, haven't I seen enough of these throughout? Like, I don't understand. And so, anybody who isn't familiar with the co op criteria or requirements, you basically have to have one teaching day a week. One of your parents or someone, it could be a grandparent, whatever, has to be
Mhm.
there to do it. Adam does it for his family. I've done it a couple times, like twice. I did it twice this school year. So he did a lot more. My wife did a lot more. So he's putting in hours at the preschool, um, which is great. Like I think
Yeah,
that's also cool for what we do is you get to know the kids a lot more too. You're
yeah,
so much more involved. And I like even we were just at a kid's birthday party and you were there, but you knew everyone's name, right? Like
right.
isn't
Yeah.
that's the
It's
special thing
special,
also
yeah.
about it?
It's
Like you
really
don't.
special knowing who like my kid is friends with and like
Mhm.
learning them too. And it's just the whole experience has really given me like a separate like sense of purpose. Like I'm on the board of the school, so I'm like the
Mhm.
operations chair. So I'm in charge of like making sure everything works and is fixed. So I'm there on weekends sometimes, like fixing sanding something or fixing a leak or whatever. And it's like I like having things to like do and like make and like improving the lives of people around me. I like helping out. So it's right up my alley of kind of being involved. And I think the more that I put into the school, the more that my kid is going to get out of it if
Yeah.
things are working and like building fun things for them to play with. So
Well, that's the
being
rule.
able
Yeah,
to do
you
that
made
is
you made
special
a
too.
train or a bus. A bus, I think it was a bus.
The
You made a
school bus,
bus.
yeah.
You made a climbing platform. Like you
Yeah.
were in and like that's a great rule. If you're listening and you're a new father or you're thinking about being a parent, what he just said, what Am just said, is basically the fundamental rule for what you get out of your child. The more you're involved or the more you
Yeah.
put into anything that your child does, the more the child is going to get out of it, but also the more the child is going to be involved with. Like if you're starting out by going to story time, right, at the library or something
Yeah,
like
we
that.
did that too. Yeah.
If you're locked in and you're singing the songs and you're doing the hand movements and stuff, your kid's going to be way more involved in it too and want to do it.
Yeah.
If you're a parent who's on their phone or not locked in, like that's your kid's not going to want to do it. Like you
Yeah.
have to be as invested in whatever activity, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's easy to like get sucked into the phone. Like you're tired, like, oh man, baby, just like but
Yeah.
you know, they grow up so fast that you do not want to waste any like moments trying to find that balance of like taking care of yourself, but also like, you know, I don't know, you're gonna be tired anyway. Just be there for your kid and
I mean,
put in the
and we're all
effort.
human. We all have our times where it's like, dude, I just need to take a step away and I
Yeah.
need to, or I just need to look at my phone. And then for me, I have to look at my phone sometimes
Yeah.
because I have to look at updates or I got to look at emails and stuff. And so you have to do it. And I get it. And
Yeah.
jobs are that. But if you're 90% of the time you're invested in doing the most or 95, then that's great. Obviously, we're all going to have our times where we're not going to be able to do it. But I
Yeah.
think that's a number one rule, right? Like you just be as invested in whatever your child is doing, and they're going to enjoy it way more.
Yeah, it's crucial. Yeah. So that having that sense of purpose from Playmates has been pretty special for me, feeling.
Okay, so we gave a good advice, little be invested, do it. I mean, I'm sure we're not breaking ground with that one. What about when you're looking at preschools? What would your advice be to parents when they're looking at preschools?
Um, I think just like having space to play. That's why I love Playmates so much, is because they have the
Hmm.
huge outdoor space. A lot of schools don't have that. So where are they gonna be outside and play? And then like we were in an interesting position because Addie's cousins, she has two older cousins who are 6 and 9, and both went to Playmates, the
Hmm.
preschool. So we had been to the fundraisers before and been to the school before, and we knew we liked it and had heard good things. So we were kind of locked in a while ago for that. But I don't know. Making sure your kid is going to be safe.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been to a couple other preschools where it's like, oh, that's an interesting thing they got going on over there. Or
Yeah. Yeah, and I think also I'd say like make sure whatever the preschool schedule is, think hard about if it actually works for whatever your schedule is going to
yeah.
be, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like you have to because every preschool has a little bit different schedule, drop off time, whatever it may
Hmm.
be. uh, or like, oh, you can't bring like we're you can't have peanuts or nuts at
Yeah.
playmates. Like that's a lot of things at preschools, but just know those little rules or those
Yeah.
little things because if you don't and you go into it thinking one thing, you just have to make sure you vet it and look it all out. And I'm sure most parents do and everyone does, but you gotta make sure it's gonna work for your family and actually work where you're not having to jump through hoops just to
Yeah.
make it work because then it doesn't feel like we all want a little 2 hour break, a few hour break from our
Yeah.
kids at sometimes
Yeah.
where we get to go get that time with your phone or focus on work or whatever it may
Yeah.
be, go work out or
Yeah.
write some music, write some songs and focus that way. But it also has to work.
Yeah.
You can't be working to make it work because then you're just like, this is a constant churn.
Yeah. That's yeah, the schedule has to work for sure.
Yeah, we
Um,
we dive back into it.
yeah.
We're going in year two, which we're all coming back, or we're both our families are coming back, and a
Yeah.
lot of people are coming back, which shows you, this isn't a Playmates commercial, but Playmates, we're sticking around. Our younger ones are planning to go there, so we're going to be there for a while. So if you just want to come hang out with us, if you thought this was compelling, and you were like, hey, I really just want to hang out with these guys more, or you're a stalker there you know where we're going to be. And that is one way to find us.
Oh
It's
boy.
not going to be hard. I don't know if you should put out all those things on the internet. Seems like a bad place, but hey, we are. Before I
Yeah.
let you go, because we're wrapping this thing up, you know, we always talk about sports naturally, not
Uh-huh.
only because of my job, but just I think it's a natural thing that a lot of dads or
Yeah.
parents talk about, especially in San Francisco, baseball season. A
Yeah.
lot of moms love baseball too at Playmates. Um, and I want to ask you this: music and sports, they seem to have some sort of innate connectivity, whether you fully understand the game or you
hmm
fully understand the music, the lyrics, because maybe it's in a foreign language. But what do you think on that and how sports and music are able to connect people?
I mean, there's constantly some form of music going on at every sporting event that you go to. Can you imagine baseball without music? You'd have no Take Me Out to the Ball Game. You'd have no organ or walk-up song or closer comes out and
Yeah,
lights
no
go
chant. Like
down,
chants
no
are kind of a
chance.
form of music too. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's all music.
yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. So it's all one thing, for sure. Like they did that Warriors game in like Orlando like 5 years ago or something, and they didn't have music. And I remember just Draymond just going off like there was
Well,
no music the whole game, and it was like the players were pissed. They couldn't get their energy up to play, and
yeah. Yeah, I think and not only at every venue, there's music, there's the walkout songs, there's the halftime shows, like
yeah, halftime
Super
show.
Bowl.
Yeah,
There's just as much hype around who the halftime performance is as the actual game.
yeah,
And for the majority of America and the world, the halftime show is more important than the game. America or Americans believe the actual game is, but around the world, everyone's tuning in for the halftime show because not everyone loves American football as
yeah,
we know it. So I like you can't have one without the other. And I also just think like music, you can always find something you like, or there's people who like this genre of music or
right.
this artist. And without knowing anything about that person, you're like, oh, I already like you because you like the music I like. You
Uh-huh.
like the artists I like. And the
That's
same
true.
way with sports is, I don't know a whole lot about you, but I know you like the Giants. You're from San Francisco. Oh, you might like the 49ers. And if you don't, if that's all you know about the person, that's a great way for you to start conversations
Yeah,
and then get
definitely.
to build off of, right?
Yeah, I never thought about it like that. It's like genres of of different sports and games and things to play. Yeah, that's interesting.
Well, it's just like
Yeah.
I just equate it to it's more so with music. Like people really like this genre of music, and I guess like a genre could be the actual sport, but and I guess the sense it is like if you like football, you like football, or you
Yeah.
like hockey, and there's some people who just like the sport itself, or and you see it more in basketball, right, where people like athletes or the
Uh-huh.
game more than
Sure.
they
Yeah.
really like. the team where everyone's, so in on LeBron. It doesn't matter where LeBron plays.
Yeah,
They just like LeBron,
yeah,
or they like Kevin Durant or whoever it may
yeah,
be. I've met a lot of people that way who are like, oh, I like this athlete
yeah,
and I'm going to follow them around. So yeah, and I just, you don't need to know a whole lot to understand when music moves you.
yeah. It's part of it's part of being a human, I think. Like
Yeah.
music's been around forever.
Yeah. And
It's
then
some
in those tense moments of games, I think everyone for the team that you want to win or lose, everyone feels the exact same way. And I think that's something special about music and sports is that when you're listening to the same song with a bunch of people, a lot of times you're going to feel some sort of the same emotions or
yeah,
go back to something that you can all kind of pull onto. Where it's like for me in '07, graduate from high school, if you get a millennial song or you get something where it like came out your high school year, you're like, oh, I know exactly where I was when that came out,
yeah,
or that was on prom. Like those things happen. And it's the same with sports, right? You remember where you were when the Giants won the World Series
yeah,
and where that was. So I just think sports and music are special in that is that you don't actually really need to know a whole lot. You just need to do it.
yeah. And it brings people together.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so wide spectrum. I loved this conversation. I'm glad I had you on. It was fun, and maybe we'll run this back some other time. But again, before we go, Adam, tell me where are some of your next venues that you'll be playing at, the dates, and then also social media handles, because as we talked
Yep.
about, free marketing, baby.
Yeah, on all socials, I'm at Adam Spry Music. Spry is Spry, Adam Spry Music. Next show, I'm playing July 2nd in Pacifica, Winter's Tavern, and then I'm doing a little tour at the end of July, 24th, 25th, 26th, playing Santa Cruz, Ivy Room in the East Bay in Albany, playing in Los Angeles. September, I'm playing at the San Rafael Porch Fest Festival. More stuff to come.
You're a
Yeah.
busy man.
Yeah, and
Not
then
to
just
mention you have a small newborn child, so sure going to be a great, easy, smooth, uneventful summer for
yeah,
you.
boring and easy. Yeah.
Boring and
Lots of
easy.
sleep.